So front desk, cover your mouth. I have a lot of coughing problem. And our counter, don't count it as arc. It is cough. A morning 10 o'clock, Ahmedabad. A standoff between 5 Central Excise Inspector and a lady, the house owner, in her 60s, guarding her gate, house gate. Madam, please give us way. It's a tax evasion case and we have search warrant against your house. I don't care what you have. Go to minister's house, politician's house. We are innocent. But madam, this search warrant is against you, not minister's house. Please move aside. No, I won't let you in unless my husband is here. If you want to come in, you have to walk on my dead body. You see, this woman was guarding her house as if it was castle. She was Queen Lakshmi Bai, and we were the British. By the time it was 11 o'clock, our aggression, our threat gave way to pleading. Madam, please let us in. You see, we won't touch anything, we'll just sit and talk. But no use. No use, absolutely no use. So, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, dear guest. 5 inspector versus 1 woman, and yet she won't let us in. And still we say, no, women are not empowered in India. If that is not empowerment, what is that? See, this was my first raid as a Central Excise Inspector, and I saw neighbors gathering around at the gate, looking at the standoff and all. There were women, there were girls, there were men and all. I look at them and I kind of ballooned up with pride and excessive oxygen, thinking that my uniform, my regalia, my attitude would make an impression. But they took it as an act of oppression, and all of them were bent on our suppression. So thinking or seeing the situation slipping out of way, we called in ladies' police. Somehow they controlled the lady and we made an entry to the house. Now, obviously we were angry. We started search operation, rummaging through the flat, turning things upside down, making a mess. But there came a twist in the story. At 12 o'clock, her daughter, my age, walked in. Now, now my positive points are there. She was beautiful. In fact, she was like an asset. The problem was the 3 of us were bachelor. And the moment we saw her, we looked at her and we felt like our search operation was completely successful. And not the one in hand, but also the one which were on for the many years, ever since we were 18. Anyway, her mother fed her with the development. She sat on the sofa with her mother, teenage brother, and a neighbor, staring at us, firing bullets from her eyes. You know that song, Hindi song, Ladki Kamal ki aankhiyon se goli mare? She was literally firing the bullets. But we were men. And men, in my age, we are eternal optimists. So we never miss an opportunity to show our courtship, to our attempt at flattery. So for us now, it was no longer a house search operation. It has become a housewarming ceremony where we were just wandering around the house, looking at the things from a safe distance. None of us was ready to touch anything for fear of spoiling our future prospect with her. Now our inspector in charge, he saw our attempt at courtship and exasperated, he ordered us to take 1 room each and find any incriminating documents. Now, we know that luck favors the righteous person. The room I got was hers. The moment I walked in, she came running after me, stood at the gate, staring at me, ready to attack, like a cat. Now I saw this as an opportunity to do some damage control. So I was like, Miss, you can come in and sit, make yourself at home. Now this make yourself at home kind of infuriated her. And she was like, this is my home, and this is my room. You are the outsider, get out. Miss, you see, I have less sympathy for government and more for you. Consider me as your friend, I will fully cooperate, I swear. You just sit. She sat, still looking gloomy, but I could see some appreciation for me as a nice person, which I am. Partially. Anyway, now I had to carry out a search operation. And the thing is, my focus was divided on three fronts. I had to carry out a search, that was the demand of the job. I had to impress her, that was the demand of the youth. And I had to avoid a sexual harassment case. That was the demand of my commissioner back at my office. She, on the other hand, she was very focused. Her only focus was to get me out of her room. So finally, I approached the first almirah, was about to touch it. The voice came from behind. It's some personal stuff. Out of respect to her claim and out of desire to please her, I backed off. Approached the other almirah, was about to touch it, and history repeated itself. Personal stuff. Again I backed off. See, no matter what I touched, laptop, books, anything and everything was personal stuff. Now I felt the urge, a desperate urge, to tell her that in house, nobody keep public property. Everything is personal. But youth prevailed over duty. Finally, I sat beside her, blaming the government and its tax policies. Now, I couldn't find anything. Outside the room, situation wasn't pleasant either. My colleagues, fellow inspectors, they were roaming and hovering around my room, complaining that my room had a better ambience and better weather. They too couldn't find anything. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the search operation continued for 6 hours. And we find nothing, nota. No incriminating document, no evidence of tax evasion, not even a phone number, nothing. Now, some of you may blame me or may say that I wasn't sincere towards my duty, I caused a loss of tax to government. But you try to put yourself in my shoes, I'm a man. And on top of that, a bachelor. So you see, if you were in my place, you had 2 options: quest of money, tax, and quest of love. See, all men will go for quest of love. If he's not in his expiry and all, he will go quest for love. So I did the same thing and I failed. But at the end of the day, I didn't have, and I won't be having this regret at the end of my life that I never tried. Because to try is men.